many years ago are being done automatically by AI. You look at the chat GPTs, DeepSeek, and so on and so forth. You don't need now to even write a speech because AI can write that speech for you. Which means that if my work is only to do speech writing, then very soon I'm going to be jobless. For you, you are tech expert. That's how you're going to do this training. What happens when you become a tech person is that it changes what we are born when it changes one. That as AI develops, you develop ahead of it. Because AI is developing, it is not developing itself. So it is you not always think ahead and look at the opportunities of the future. Develop innovations. In these three areas, for example, come up with innovations that will secure your job as a person, but secure opportunities. What? You did say it here that we need to increase the quality of our products. That is an opportunity. Even with AI, we still need to increase the quality of our product. So if your focus is to ensure that you increase the quality of our product, then you have a job. We need to harmonize our trading operations as a continent through the Africa Free Trade. If you focus on that and you produce innovations that will ensure that we increase or we improve or we harmonize our trading engagement in the continent, then you have a job. You need to add value. Even with AI, AI is just there to facilitate the process, but it is you to lead that and ensure that we add value to our natural resources here in the country. If your focus is to develop innovations that will add value to our products, then you have a job. But if you sit back and start thinking like our parents used to think about their stuff in the 1960s, then you're going to be jobless in the next 5 years. Or you don't even get a job now, moving forward. And that is why even those of you who now went to school expecting to get a job like we used to do, that is not the world that we're living in today. We are living in a world where you go buy a gadget. You do not go to school to learn how to use that gadget. In fact, when somebody is given a phone, you know how to use it immediately. You don't go to school to learn how to use a phone, right? Now, when the computers were invented, we used to go to school to get trained on how to use a computer. Okay? We used to go to school to get introduced to how to move the mouse and how to use the Microsoft. I don't think that sounds weird. So technically, it meant that if you got a smartphone, you needed to go to school to learn how to use that smartphone. But now, because of AI, you are even able to use your smartphone to develop an app that will enable you do your things in a more efficient and in a more productive manner. Now, it is you. And this is on all of us. Because if I am left behind, my job as a professor is also going to go. Because now AI is going to start training our people in the areas that I used to do even better. Because AI is more knowledgeable and AI doesn't get a lot tired. And AI is not engaged in many other things like I am doing. So, yes, we are saying that in the next 5 years, most of the jobs that you have today will be taken up by AI. But we're also saying that with AI and advancement in technology and the move to the fifth industrial revolution, you have opportunities of creating new other opportunities through a new base of innovation. See? So that what you used 5 years ago will not be what you'll be using then, because then you'll have created something else, a better world, full of innovations for all of us. And that is the one. And for you, people in the tech world should not be worried, because you're working together with the technology. For those of us who are not in technology, we are very worried, because we know that technology will take up our jobs, and we might be the people who are going to be jobless as we create jobs for yourselves. This is what we're telling Kenyans, the Gen Zs of Kenya. Because the ones that, in Kenya we do a lot of things. And I know many countries in the continent are shocked when we do things this kind. But we have a very proactive population of young men and women in this country. And young men and women who have been given the space to think and innovate. And when you innovate, or when you're given that space, and you don't make progress very quickly, you become restless. So our young men and women are so restless because we have taken them to the education system, through the education system. They have gone past the levels that we used to go through those times, and they are able not to think forward, and they know exactly what they want. Now we are telling them that instead of waiting for us as the government, okay, please go over there and use that knowledge, use that set of skills to innovate and do exactly what you believe will make this world a better place for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. So, okay. So we got one more question, and then also I was informed there's also one question from online. So now,
merci beaucoup. Je suis le formateur de la Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. Je tiens à vous dire un grand merci. Merci à vous. Moi, j'ai un problème. Nous, par exemple, c'est maintenant que nous avons la première commande. Et nos jeunes que nous formons doivent se développer pour pouvoir maîtriser d'abord ces commandes et créer des éléments compétitifs. Alors que nous sommes déjà en sous la coupole de la France. Et la Chine est en train d'arriver. Comment est-ce que nous pouvons nous émanciper de ces différentes puissances qui arrivent en même temps?
now,
Even nowadays, we still have some original or outdated kind of equipment or other things, and as we all know, as China and other developing countries are now getting together, so it's kind of a competitiveness to them. So how can people from join this problem? Yes, so this is his problem, and I just on behalf of the online students, another one. The word is one of the most hindering factors about technology in Africa in basic development is lack of startup capital. So the question is, how can we accelerate new ideas with power and take action on them for some implementation? That's my question.
Thank you both. And I hope both Johnson and also Yanni. So my good friend from football. You know, I've lived in Amsterdam for some time, so I know. Some of the things that you talk about, especially when it comes to outdated equipment. That you have here. You have visited a number of places in Cote d'Ivoire. You know, Abidjan, in Peter City, the university in town, but also places like Yamoussoukro. Just to go and see the kind of technologies we have there. This was under the African Union and African Development Bank. The headquarters of the bank is in Abidjan. And one of the things that we see in some of these countries, the challenge that you have in Ivory Coast is a common challenge that we have in many African countries. But that challenge has been brought about because of the kind of systems that our governments have set in there. And the belief, which is quite unfortunate, that we cannot believe that we are not able to do some of these things because we have foreigners or foreign countries that are supporting you to do that. In Abidjan, I know Paris controls most of things that we do there. Until we change our policies and start doing things as Africans and partner with the external countries, it will be very difficult for us. What we need to do is to ensure, one, that if we are working with China, China is doing some projects in Cote d'Ivoire. China, just like the way they do in Kenya, they should come down there and train or provide skills to people in Cote d'Ivoire, so that when Chinese people go back, we have the capacity to do those projects by ourselves. And that should come with the transfer of technology and of course the transfer of those projects. So that can have new equipment that can be used in our countries, in the continent, to get the kind of development that we need. So by the government of Cote d'Ivoire, I think part of it is policy. And policy comes from the government. The government must take those policies so that our people can take our development and ensure that we get the right equipment that will be able to develop the kind of innovations that we need in our countries. Second question about startup fund. Yes, that is a major challenge. It's a major challenge in all the countries in Africa. Now, the African Union sets standards when it comes to the amount of money that is set aside by government for research, science, and technology. And our focus has been more on producing research or writing papers, and less about innovations and patenting of those innovations. Now, I think we need to move to another level, where every country sets aside a certain amount of money from their budget to support startups, so that we can accelerate the development of our innovations and the commercialization of those innovations. We are doing that in Kenya. Kenya has started that process of setting a certain amount of money to support young men and women who have innovations that can be commercialized. And you will hear stuff like digital hubs or incubation centers. Incubation centers are in most of the universities in Kenya. We have digital hubs that are being established by the government of Kenya in every part of the country as part of President William Ruto's agenda. Now, those digital hubs are being set up in villages in Kenya, so that those people who are not able to come to Nairobi, or those ones who are not able to go to other cities in Kenya, are able to use those hubs to develop their ideas into innovations. Now, that is part of the startup capital that you need. But once you put your idea together, for you to commercialize that idea, that process requires financial support. And the government of Kenya is working on that. Now, traditionally, we'll be getting startup capital from donor countries like China, but also from foundations like the MasterCard Foundation, Organic Foundation, and many other financing entities. But we need to also set up our own funds in the country. That we have our own startup fund here in Kenya that supports innovative ideas from ideation, as I put it, to commercialization. Now, that is the role of the government, and that calls for policy change, policy transformation, so that we get that put in place. And finally, is the role of the private sector. Although the private sector in most African countries is not that much developed, the private sector, just like many other countries, should now take a leading role, or play a leading role, in ensuring that they track innovations that are aligned to the industries. Because innovations are good in ensuring that we improve the performance of those industries. Now, the role of the industry will be coming to you as a young man who has a technology or an innovation, or who has a good idea that can help them transform the operations of the industry. It calls a techno policy. One of the plans one of the things that we're doing is putting together
young men and women like you want to develop ideas, and two, as we always do, the top 10 ideas in a group are funded through a fund that has been set up not just by the government but also by our partners to ensure that we move you to the level of commercializing that innovation. And also at the university, that I am chairman, that we have started in concept on advanced research and training in science and technology. One of the things that we're doing is to train you, support you to do research, but also give you a set of skills that will help you grow your industry. You are working with the private sector, and you are telling them that please support one young man. Train them for 2 years. They're going to work, use our equipment. They're going to work with other universities globally, so that we can produce solutions to the challenges that the industrial base in Kenya is facing. We want to grow our base in Kenya and in the continent to the levels that we see in advanced economies in the world. And that will not be done if we work together as Africans, but also our governments provide us with an enabling environment so that you can sort of get access to what you require to grow or to transform your innovation to another place that will be able to support the national, regional, and global development agenda.
Okay, thank you. So for the time, we'll finish the question section. Thank you very much, Professor. Okay. So because we also have a training this afternoon, so before the end of this talk, we would like to invite the Ambassador Lina, the Deputy Ambassador of Kenya to China, to say hello to us.
In China, we say ni hao. In Kenya, we say ni hao. I think everyone says mambo from wherever you are, right? Yeah, so I'm so happy to be here. Mine is to congratulate you, actually. This is International Youth Week. I'm a young ambassador. I represent the youth in Kenya, but in Africa as well. And my training is in engineering, so I'm very passionate about skills development. And because of that, I thought it's important for me to congratulate you for participating in the 10th Africa Tech Challenge. So 11 years ago, I was here with our good friends on Agri to launch ATC. So 11 years later, I'm here to see it has grown to 12 countries. I think Kwang in 2014, we were only Kenya, or was it only Kenya? So let's congratulate each other by a warm round of applause for being part of this. And secondly, allow me to say thank you to our chairman, Prof.Emmanuel Mutisya. I have learned so much. I was writing notes. I'm a lifelong student, and I want to thank you so much, Prof, for creating time. You guys know where Konza is, very far. So for you to come here and give us time off your busy schedule, we want to thank you. So I think it's good to party my coffee at you. Let's see what So mine, it's good to say what I've learned, Prof. I've learned on sustainable development. But it can only be possible through industrialization. And you are the ones to industrialize Africa. I don't think it's a Kenya agenda. I think it's an African agenda. So I look at you as a pool of resources that our continent needs. And therefore, for me, I'm very happy during this International Youth Week to see your beautiful faces, to know that Africa's future is secure. Because with all the skills you're getting, then you will transfer those skills across the continent. And when I look at 12 countries being in one place, I see linkage, industrial linkages. What he's saying is, for us to develop, we must work together. So with your skills, you go back home, you go to the industry, and you transform the industry for productivity, for us then to start trading with China using our own products. And for me, that is what I look forward to. An African continent that exports its value-added products. So I'm very happy when I had the gentleman from Zambia, from Ghana, Onyango here from Kenya, talking about how do we move to that next level. And we are here to support. The government of Kenya has made it very clear that skills development is top of the agenda. Our president is the biggest supporter of teams, and for us, we are very happy to support him and support ministries to be able to lead that agenda. So with those many remarks and a very big hello, I'll stop there. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting us, and thank you to Adult Innovation for continuing with this great Africa Tech Challenge. Asante sana. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So once again, we can welcome up to our so I think today the talk today will be finished. So for our participants, the next minute we start the training for this afternoon. So thanks to you for the next ATC talk. Thank you.
We keep taking pictures.